I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Here.
Councilman Collier.
Here.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Venz.
Here.
Councilman Tenen.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. And we'd ask that gentlemen, if you would, remove your hats in the council chambers. I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. I have to read out the bills here. Total bills are $312,346.57. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tenen. Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Consent agenda passes. Correspondence. Bottleneck Bridge.
We have a thank you note from the Bottleneck Bridge group. Mr. Andy Held. Thank you for being part of the 2022 Bottleneck Bridge Ride. Over 400 cyclists came to Festus to travel our, I'm sorry, I can't really read this.
County.
County on two wheels. I am very grateful for your support of this event each year. It is the support of you, the city of Festus, and the council and the Festus Tourism Commission that make this such a big success. Thank you, Andy Held.
Thank you. Remarks of visitors. We have none. Chief Lewis.
Thank you for your time. I wanted to go ahead of the shop with the cop because they're too big of an act to follow. Why I'm here is I want to make you aware of the actions of one of your officers, particularly School Resource Officer James Brookshire. On the 9th of September, we got an anonymous phone call to the police department that just basically stated they're going to shoot the middle school up Monday. That was it. He came in, dedicated time and resources and his investigative skills to not only track down the anonymous number, but to get the person who made the phone call to speak to him. During the course of the investigation, not only to discover who the suspect was, but the steps that this person had taken to the point of stealing a car, stealing a firearm, and arming them and putting a GoPro among themselves. If you've studied active shooters in the last few years, they live stream what they're doing. Of all the years I've been here, this is probably the most scary situation I've been as far as a shooter coming in. Through his dedication and hard work, he stepped up and avoided a potentially dangerous situation. We can't thank him enough for what he did. Putting him in the school was one of the best decisions we ever made as a police officer. And with that, I'd like to give Officer Brookshire, if he will step up here, our appreciation and a certificate of commendation for a job well done. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job. Thanks. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Detective Sergeant Lewis Pippin, Jeffco Shop with a Cop.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council, for taking a moment to listen to us. we just kind of wanted to bring to your attention kind of what we've been doing with Jeffco Shop of the Cop. Jessica and I were tasked with joining the city of DeSoto Shop of the Cop 6 years ago. 1 year later, we took over leadership of the organization, rebranded it. We got an attorney. We got a 501c3. We're recognized through the Secretary of State. We have a third-party accounting firm. We're insured. We turned it into a legitimate business. We went from being corporals to business owners basically overnight. Whenever we took the organization over, they were shopping for around 17 kids a year. We have never shopped for less than 300. This year, we just recently announced that on KJFF last week that we will be shopping for 500 children this year, which is a landmark for us.
We're raising their amount from $100 to $125 a kid.
Yes. And just so you guys know as well, we are made up of a 7-member board. Whenever we first started this organization, whenever we joined it with City of DeSoto, there was about 4 organizations that were a part of it. We were up to 27 first responder agencies throughout Jefferson County that are a part of this organization. And out of the 7 board members, 3 of them are from the city of Festus. Jessica Griffall is the president of the organization. I'm vice president, and we have a board member, Travis Byers, who is also on our board. And he's one of our dispatchers. We are able to do this through the support and help from all the community, all of our events and everything. I'm so thankful for Barb. Without her, I wouldn't know where to get porta potties and Santa Clauses and everything else for our events. And we, through these means, we're able to meet a lot of great people. A lot of people that are very generous, that share our same core values and beliefs. A couple of these people are in this room right now, and they're from the Relaxing in a Park. If you guys come on up. So Barb got in touch with us a few weeks ago, and she said, hey, there's somebody I want you to talk to and meet. And she set me up with talking to Matt Jones. And I got on the phone with Matt, and they wanted to support our organization, and I will give the mic to them so then they can give their spiel about what they're wanting to do for us.
You know, about a year ago, give or take a little bit, I remember standing up in front of all you guys, and we first started talking about the show. And we said, you know, it was a charity show. We wanted to be able to give back to kids and so on and so forth. Well, Matt and I had discussed several other options on top of that too, but with the help of Barb again, said, you know, maybe you guys should go this direction, which really makes sense. It's what we really wanted to do to begin with. So, you know, we're a 501c3 as well. That was our whole purpose, was to basically raise money for different awareness, different charities, whatever. So we want to present Shop with a Cop with a $5,000 check.
Oh, my
From the show.
goodness. That is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You got the real one.
You can't take that check to the bank.
You can have this one too. That one's the good one.
yeah, we've been busy, guys. This is a full-time job on top of a full-time job, and we're thankful to have the support from you guys, from the chief, from everybody in our community. This year, we're going to make a lot of kids this Christmas very special. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very well. Very well.
Well, that's good. Okay, do we have any bids tonight?
No, sir.
Ordinances and resolutions. Tonight we have Bill 4697. Would the clerk please read Bill 4697 for the first time?
Bill number 4697, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022 and ending September 30, 2023, and establishing an effective date.
Can we have a staff report, please?
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is going to be a tough act to follow, I guess. So I'm presenting the final budget to you, and the things that have changed from the last version were we added a placeholder for cyber insurance for 20,000. We moved a portion of 17,600 from the library to non-departmental because we didn't think that project applied to the library. And that was for the 10-year debt service. And we were notified of an increase for our dump truck and one other line item for the water department. So we went ahead and layered that increase in there so that when they came to present that they wouldn't be over budget. And other than that, there were not any material changes. Does anybody have any specific questions?
Is there any discussion? Is there any council member that would like this bill carried over to the next meeting?
Well.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4698? I'm sorry, Bill 4697 for the second time.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4697 for the second time?
Bill number 4697, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022, and ending September 30, 2023, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Tenon.
Yes. Bill 4697 has passed. Good,
Thank you.
good work, Stephanie.
Thank you.
We have Bill 4698 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill?
Bill number 4698, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the Plan Unit Development Overlay for 1255 through 1275 North Truman Boulevard and 101 through 109 Borga, incorporating Exhibit A attached here to as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4698 is now open for discussion. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. This is applicants are applying for a PUD overlay of the properties where Shop and Save, MERS Goodwill, American Home and Mattress, as well as the Borga Building. Probably recognize the license office and the Highway Patrol offices over there. They want to do an overlay, include the following uses: office, light manufacturing, warehousing, commercial, retail, wholesale, distribution, and religious. This went to P and Z at the last meeting, and they did recommend it for approval.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4698 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4698 for the second time?
Bill number 4698, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the Plan Unit Development Overlay for 1255 through 1275 North Truman Boulevard and 101 through 109 Borga, incorporating Exhibit A attached here to as a part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Bill 4698 has passed.
Very good. Thank you all.
And we also have Bill 4699 this evening. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4699, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending chapter 203 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus to enact a new section pertaining to the appointment process applicable to the selection of a fire chief and amending section 203.040 regarding qualifications to serve as fire chief, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor, City Council, as we've talked about, specific to the duties of fire chief within our code, the duties, the responsibilities were in several sections of our code, kind of a carryover from the volunteer department to now with the kind of the hybrid department we have. So this, Brian and his staff have worked hard to clean things up, to make things very clear and concise and all found in one section of the code, which is chapter 203. As I've noted to you in my weekly update, there are two things I do want to point out that are part of the code. One, it does streamline kind of the hierarchy as far as the fire chief and placing them under the supervision of the office of the city administrator as the chief administrative assistant to the mayor. And the other is this does allow for a 20-mile limit as far as a residential radius that they have to live in. That is consistent with the provisions that the city made about 5-6 years ago for the city administrator's position as well. The rest of it is as we have discussed and is what was already established in the code. Happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion?
I have a question. In as much as we don't live in a vacuum, I'm sure there's been some research done to the number of departments that do have such a radius.
Mhm.
Has there been any negative
No.
research or reporting to that would make us take pause at that?
No, and it's interesting. Kevin Dennis and I had a real good conversation about this. Kevin obviously used to reporting to an emergency scene, and I've talked to the members of our department. You know, the first person that shows up is in charge of the fire scene until the next higher ranking person shows up, and then they're in charge of the fire scene. In fact, I know Captain Spradley and I have talked a little bit about the fact that 9 times out of 10 with our department, the engineer's in charge of the fire scene because the captain has to go inside and fight the fire. So the fire service, I think, is very accustomed to coming in, taking charge at that moment. And then as ranking officers appear on the scene, obviously deferring to them to run that scene. I live 20 miles, or I live within the 20-mile radius. I live 11 miles from the city. I can be here in less than 15 minutes. So I think what it does is certainly allows us to cast a broader net, gives us some flexibility, and I think will probably give us a better pool of candidates to select from once we decide to go ahead and post the advertisement.
I have a question. So I don't know a lot about firefighting, but there are gentlemen back there that do. And it might be a little irregular in my question here, but would there be a way to hear from them to, because they're the ones that are there. They're the ones that are first ones there, second ones there, third ones there, whatever it may be, and hear their feelings on what a 20-mile radius would do.
Representative of the group or
I think if
Assistant Chief Boyer.
Assistant Chief Boyer, you want to comment on that?
We don't have no. Chuck, turn your mic on. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, as the department, we don't have an issue with it. It happens. It happened Saturday night. I mean, we had smoke in the building at the Quality Inn Hotel. First truck there, took command. I was probably 2 or 3 minutes behind that truck. So when I arrive on scene, I just get information of what's going on with the scene. Then I'll take command. So the first truck in will take command until a high ranking officer or someone arrives on scene. It's common. Every department. Coming in this morning, Rock Community went out with electrical outlet in Fox School. So, their first truck got on the scene, did a size up, took command until their battalion chief got there. So it's common. I don't think we have an issue with the 20 miles. So open that up. Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read bill number 4699 for the second time in title only.
So moved.
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read bill 4699 for the second time?
Bill number 4699, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending chapter 203 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus to enact a new section pertaining to the appointment process applicable to the selection of a fire chief and amending section 203.040 regarding qualifications to serve as fire chief, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
No.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes. Bill 4699 has passed 5-1.
And if I could jump in for a moment, with council's permission, we would like to get this posted within the department, but also for external candidates at the same time. We'd like to do that as quickly as possible. I think we all like to move as quickly as we can to get to the next stage where we can interview candidates and select our next fire chief, if everyone's agreeable to that. At the same time, I'd also ask council to consider that in the advertisement, that we give you the ability, the mayor, the ability to also take into consideration experience in addition to the qualifications. That is under a portion of the code that we just adopted. It's related to minimum qualifications. I think the advertisement should also state that the city reserves the right to take into consideration experience in addition to qualifications. If everyone's agreeable to that, we'll get the advertisement posted first thing tomorrow.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Go ahead.
Get on it right away.
New business. Temporary liquor license, Main and Mill Brewing Company, Street Fest, October 8th.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, we were wanting to do the same thing we've done the last, well, not the last 6 years. We had an off year for COVID. But the same exact thing we've done for our anniversary in the past, where we're closing Mill to Adams, have 2 big stages and basically a lot of different music. So doing a lot of alt country, and then we're ending the evening with Steve Ewing again, because it was a huge hit last year. He's local and everybody loves him. So no real changes this year. Hopefully we're trying to expand it for next year, but we'll see. So, but there's nothing really different than what we've done in the past.
Any problems with this, chief? No. Any discussion?
It's always been fun to go to, and you've done a good job putting it on.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion to approve the request of Main and Mill Brewing Company to have a street fest October 8th and to close this Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Let's have a street fest.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Twin City Chamber of Commerce.
I don't believe anyone's here representing the chamber, but I don't believe anyone's here from the chamber this evening, but you do have the application in your packet from Mary. It's basically, I don't believe they're calling it the Great Pumpkin Festival anymore, but that's what it is, the trick or treating pumpkin festival for kids on Main Street.
Chief, we have any problems with this? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the trick or treating on Main Street on October 29th from 9:30 to 12.
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Let's have a Halloween fest. Old business.
It's in your packet for informational purposes. That is the certified election results of the FOP 15 election, which was held last Wednesday. That has been forwarded to legal counsel for the city and also for the Fraternal Order of Police.
Anything else? Councilman Boyer.
I have nothing, sir.
Councilman Weiner.
Just to follow up on what Mary was talking about at the library last week, I had had the AD from Festus come over to our store and thanked him, and he was all about participation between the school and the community. So it was just like it was part of what they do over there. So happy to hear that, and it was good to see your your editorial that you wrote in the paper too. That was very nice also. Mill Street just keeps coming along. It's progressing every day. That's all I have, sir.
All righty, thank you. Councilman Collier.
No report at this time.
Thank you. Councilwoman Templeton.
Just a couple of things. I used the library the other day for an event with work related, but the staff is always so great to us. They're always welcome us. And however, could really use a little love in the meeting rooms. The AV equipment from my high school days, which is long since passed, probably could use a little refresh.
classic.
It's
a classic.
short of a Betamax. We're there. But anyway, the library staff is always so willing to let people come in. We were giving an educational piece on Medicare and Social Security, but just kind of looking at the ceiling, I was like, we need to do better. So that just kind of put that out there. And then the other one is kind of a plug. On October 15th and 16th, Backstoppers is holding the first ever pickleball cup in Festus. So it's $50 to play. Jim Berger is gracious enough to be running the bulk of it for us. And this will be followed up next year by a bigger tournament, even Memorial Day, but up at Forest Park. But this one is in our own backyard. If you're not familiar with Backstoppers, they come in to help the families of fallen first responders as well as those that are gravely injured. To date, right now, I think there's 96 families with 75 dependents that are receiving assistance from Backstoppers in the St. Louis area itself. So it's like, 26 different counties are represented. So obviously near and dear to my heart, but if you play pickleball, we're going to do an instructional piece. So if you don't know how to play like me, they're actually going to be able to teach people how to play. So if you're out and about and want to come by, want to play, get a hold of me. I'm happy to help you. Otherwise, just get a hold of Jim. He'll clue you in. That's it.
That's going to be down at Joker's Park.
Yep.
Good. Councilman Vins.
After you said Mill Street, loving it. That should have been done many, many years ago. I was overdue. I'm glad to see that. The big cruise was good. I went by that and that was good turnout as always. And other than that, that's it, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman Tennant.
I think everything's been said for me tonight, so I have nothing, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Two things, sir. I attended the traditional music festival this weekend, following weekend, and got a little bit of history how that ended up here. Mike Cage recruited and tried to bring it here when they lost their venues in Illinois when they closed the parks. A world-class act. Nicest people I ever met. I actually made it both days. I believe I seen Dave out there in a distance. Larry Kreitz's widow was there. She come out, but perhaps could we send a thank you to them for bringing that to our town. I don't know how many people were there and the commerce that it brought to our hotels and restaurants. Just a class act, just maybe something from Mayor and City Council thanking them. The other thing was the shop with the cop. I always kind of stayed out of that and let people not ranked participate when I worked at JPAD. And the stories that they brought back was always that these children were always wanting to buy something for their siblings or their parents. And it has been taken to the level of unbelievable. And I think maybe a attaboy and attagirl for what has been done there, because the two people that stood before you have put their heart into this. So perhaps the accommodation from the chief or the mayor, however you choose to do that, would be in order. This is a wonderful thing, and thankless hours have been put into it. And it brought me to tears hearing the stories of these children, always thinking about others. So we're doing something really, really good there. Other than that, that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. I'd like to mention that on Sunday, I attended the music festival, talked to George Ports myself, and he had nothing but great things to say about this city, about the cooperation of the Parks Department and the facilities that we have here, the hotels. And by the way, I did happen to mention that next time when he comes here, there'll be a Texas Roadhouse. But he was very, very happy, and he will be coming back to Kreitz Park for many years in the future to have his festival. Is there anything else? Anyone else have anything to say? If not, we're going to have to go into closed session in accordance with matters relating to RSMO 610.021 313 personnel. I'll need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant, Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will be going into closed session in